And we're live. Good evening. Welcome to the Special Labor Education Workforce Youth and Development Committee meeting. Today is August 27th, 2025. This meeting will be broadcast on HPA-TV Comcast, Frontier Government Channels 96 and 6032. It'll also be streamed via hpatv.org, the HPA-TV Facebook page, HPA-TV's Roku TV, Apple TV, and Amazon TV apps. It will also be rebroadcast and made available on HPA-TV YouTube channel. And tonight, I have with me my council president, Shirley Surgeon, who is not a member of the committee, but we're excited she is here. We have Councilwoman Kelly Bildu, who is a member of the committee. Myself, I am Majority Leader Marilyn Rossetti, and I chair the committee. And we also have Corp Counsel Harding, we have Assistant Charmaine Craig, we have Town Clerk Eric Lusa, and we have Haley. Tell me what your title is. I'm sorry, I apologize.
Executive assistant or assistant town clerk.
Okay, what she said. So tonight we have one agenda item, and it's a presentation. And the resolution is presented by myself, Council President Surgeon, Assistant Majority Leader Clark, Councilwoman Bilodeau, Councilman Hernandez, Councilwoman Rosado, and it's a resolution reestablishing the Sister Cities program. And this presentation is going to be by Eric Lusa, as I said, the town and city clerk. A little background for folks out there the two people who maybe are watching. Sister Cities was pretty active at different points in the city of Hartford over the last 20 years. And like a lot of things, it takes someone to kind of guide it and keep it going. And I think for a lot of reasons, it fell by the wayside. When you look at, and you'll see in the presentation, what the Sister Cities is about, it's needed more now than ever as far as work and making the world more global in the sense. We um, we have some established sister cities. We'll go over tonight how we're going to go forward with those, add some, see which ones are active. Um, uh, and I think this is an exciting time. I appreciate what Eric and Haley have put into it so far. I'm excited to be a part of the executive committee. And as we build the board, which we need a good, I think, Eric, you said 12 to 17 people. We have some commitments already. I hope my colleagues who are here tonight. And I think with that, we'll do the presentation that may prompt some questions. So, Eric, why don't you take it?
Uh, Thank you, Majority Leader. My name is Eric Lusa, and I'm the town clerk for the city of Hartford. Under guidance from this council, myself and Haley Green were able to travel to Fort Worth, Texas about a month ago to start the process of reestablishing Hartford's sister cities. As the councilwoman had mentioned earlier in her intro, this has fallen to the wayside for various reasons. And if you look behind me, it might be a little blurry, but I did bring some prompts. Back in the late 90s and early 90s, Dan Carey, the former town clerk for the city of Hartford, was a moving force in establishing our sister cities relationship with New Ross and Wexford County, Ireland. Dan helped spearhead this initiative with others on council and Mayor Mike. John Pisano himself, him and Pedro Segar, and the former mayor and former town clerk, were able to go to another sister cities in Italy and foster that relationship.
May I bring up something, May I bring up something, Eric? I don't mean to interrupt you. Council President Surgeon, I think you remember Councilman Harris and myself, we went to the sister city in China, but go ahead. So that was with Mike Peters' administration.
Oh, you did? I didn't. Yes, you did. That's right. Yes, you did. Yeah.
So the point is with my prompt and mentioning the rich history that the town clerk's office has with establishing and reestablishing the sister cities programming across the country. Moving on to the first slide here, what is the sister city? It's a formal partnership between cities in different countries to promote cultural exchange, economic ties, education opportunities, and mutual understanding across the board. And as the councilwoman has stated, I think at the federal level, with everything that's going on there, this has never been more important. I actually have a quick video that we're going to play. I don't know how it will play across the virtual aspect of it, but if you can't hear it, let me know and I'll pull it down. So you cannot hear that?
No.
Okay, so we'll get rid of that. So that is
Okay.
basically just an introduction to what a Sister Cities is. This is the city of Grand Rapids, and a lot of these organizations in these cities have been doing this for literally decades. And like I said, what is a sister city? We are one. Hartford is one of, I believe, two others. Well, one other, New Haven, Connecticut, and ourselves, which we are a registered member of Sister Cities International. When Haley and myself were in New Haven, we were in Fort Worth, we met with the representative of the New Haven Sister Cities organization, and they are light years ahead of us, and they are really the gold standard moving forward. Jessica Nunez, she will be the state rep for the state of Connecticut, where she will be representing the sister cities at a national level. She has kind of taken us under her wing from a tutelage standpoint, and will help us reestablish some of these dormant sister cities moving forward. Why sister cities matter, right? To promote cultural understanding, to create opportunities for exchange students, economic development, and municipal cooperation. When we were out in Texas, we met with the San Antonio team, right? So the San Antonio team has a partnership with two cities in Mexico, and they have won numerous awards driving regional innovation, trade missions, cultural festivals that generate millions of dollars of cultural impact. So these are like the gold standards of what sister cities could be one day, with funding, support from our elected officials, and stuff of that nature. We also met with the team from Boston, right? And their biggest sister cities is Belfast, Northern Ireland. They focus on economic development, investment, and creating jobs through shared tech and education initiatives. Another important one was sister cities was started right after World War II. So after the global chaos of World War II, sister cities was seen as a cultural ambassadorship to various countries and cities to help rebuild what World War II had shattered. So a perfect example, St. Paul, Minnesota, they have a sister cities with Nagasaki, Japan. This one really amplifies peace. And like I said, started after the post-World War II era. Why do sister cities matter more now than ever? Like I alluded to earlier, at the federal level, with everything going on from deportation to just rough international relations, a lot of the subject matter at the conference was, how do you get around some of these visa issues? How do you get around some of these deportation issues? And how do you continue having these great relationships at the municipal level, even when the federal government isn't helping in that sense? So I think now more than ever, through strengthening diplomatic ties, community ties, and people-to-people diplomacy, I think Hartford has to lean on its cultural heritage from the Jamaican community, Puerto Rican community, the Irish community. And as I'll show later in the slides, we have a multitude of sister cities, but a lot of them are dormant. And hopefully with guidance from this body and other elected officials, we look to, reestablish some of these relationships that, as I said, have been dormant. Past sister cities connections. If you look on the screen, you have some of the Irish from the Irish Day Parade. The video isn't working, but the video would show the Wexford individuals. They're here every year, right? We roll out the red carpet for the Irish delegation. And, they talk in this video, which was on Fox 61 News in 2025, where they talk about how important it is to have a sister cities relationship with people in your community. Some of the sister cities that Hartford has specifically are in countries of Puerto Rico, China, where Councilwoman Rossetti went, Italy, where there was a trip out there in the early 2000s, Morant Bay, Jamaica, New Ross, Ireland, Dan Carey and team were out there as well, Nicaragua, Greece, and Hartford, England, right? Don't know where that is, but obviously that's somewhere in England, a very similar name.
Actually, I've been there.
Oh, do tell.
They treated me like I was a visiting dignitary. It's right outside of London. It's actually a pretty cute little city. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and that's another thing too. If you ever hear the stories of if it's Dan Carey, John Mazzano, they tell these Pedro Cigar, they tell these stories of how well they treat us when we go over there, and how these cultural exchanges just mean so much at every level. But like I said, some of this stuff, due to COVID, due to administration changes, have gone dormant, and I think moving forward, and I'll talk about this in a further slide. We look to reestablish, the committee, maybe amend the bylaws, and set up a fiduciary to do some fundraising.
Town clerk, I need to mention that Councilman Gale has joined us. Go ahead.
Thank you, Majority Leader Rossetti. Councilman Gale, welcome. And I think now that, there has been some talk that maybe Hartford wants to start a friendship city or a new sister city with maybe Jamaica or other places. And there's a whole international process that we'll have to do. We'll have to do our research, initiate communication, foster direct engagement. And that's what the committee will do. So we will help spearhead the committee of whatever. We take guys from the elected officials. That was big at the Sister Cities International Conference. We can only do or go as far as you'll allow us to do. If it's, some of these elected officials, not saying Hartford, but in other past administrations, Sister Cities wasn't on anybody's radar. So now it seems like we have buy-in from the council, from the mayor, and we really look forward to, knocking the dust off the Sister Cities relationships and taking some of the next steps. Why reestablish now? Renewed interest in global cooperation. The world is facing, shared challenges. If it's climate change, public health, migration, and cities and local partnerships are leading the way. And we saw a bevy of speakers and mayors on stage that, just to show the value of having, a cross endorsement of stuff of this nature. I mean, Hartford's global identity is we're the insurance capital of the world. We have one of the biggest Jamaican populations, one of the biggest Puerto Rican populations, and we can really leverage that for festivals. The folks in New Haven, which is kind of the gold standard right now in Connecticut for sister cities, they've leveraged partnerships with Yale and some other private institutions. We can lean on UConn across the street. We can lean on Trinity, just even in the foreign exchange student area, stuff of that nature. And that's really important. And that's a lot of the stuff that Sister Cities is built on. And looking at next steps, one, the bylaws was written in the late 80s, early 90s. We really want to update the bylaws at some capacity. The bylaws look for around 16-person membership team. They really look for an executive committee, vice president, president, treasurer, secretary. I know Councilwoman Billadu took part in this in the past, and so she should have some firsthand knowledge of how all this works. I believe she was the treasurer back in the early 90s, not to date anyone. And reestablishing Sister Cities positions Hartford as a forward-thinking global hub, enhancing in cultural vibrance, economic vibrance, and community ties. It really goes back to the community ties, we'll have to, working with this body and other elected officials, we'll have to look to put a resolution forward. Well, one, pass the resolution we have in front of us, which is reestablishing the commission, because it's currently a committee, hence the update. And two, it's really putting diverse individuals. The bylaws doesn't speak to anything to do with diversity. Haley had mentioned a point saying that, we really want to have a broad spectrum of diversity on this body. And I think that's very important. And, there's various ways to do this, but what is important to understand is it's a lot of work, right? So, if we have one person will be representing, Nicaragua, one person will be representing Puerto Rico, one person will be representing Jamaica. And within that, there will be various subcommittees. If it's a trade subcommittee, if it's a school subcommittee, whatever that might look like. This takes time, this takes money, this takes effort. And I think we have, starting to get the right mix of individuals, the right buy-in from the elected officials, and even the public for that matter, and trying to show everybody how important this is to move forward. we urge council and the mayor to support this initiative with resolutions, funding, and their partnership and their 2 cents. Let's build these bridges for a stronger, more connected Hartford moving forward. So I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. And at this moment, I think we'll open it up to members of the committee if they have any questions.
Thank you, Eric. And I just want to point out one of the things that you said in your presentation, that people to people diplomacy. That's a really good statement. So, I'm going to open it up to questions from my colleagues and or comments. Are there any? Council President?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. Good presentation, Eric. Don't we have a chair in the council chambers from one of our sister city?
It's from Sicily. Yep, from Italy, Sicily.
Yeah, Hartford has a rich history and stuff, and that is a perfect example, Council President.
Right. So that'd be really good, to add to your presentation of, certainly, and I don't remember who started the city program. I know past council person, State Representative Almirada was
Yeah.
extremely influential back in those days. I'm not sure what year the council started the city program.
I don't know offhand. I know Councilwoman Billadou had spent time within the organization. I believe from a secretary standpoint, maybe she could have some insight on that.
Well, when I served in the 2000s, but I know that the Ireland sister city was established in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have the literature behind me with my props, and it's, it says that Dan Carey, I don't know how true it is, I'm assuming it's true, was one of the driving forces to start the sister cities relationship with our folks in New Ross.
Yeah, and each country had a representative with that like cultural background. So that's what created the diversity for the committee. And there was a president, there was a treasurer and a secretary. And I believe the president at the time represented a sister city. The last president that I worked with represented Ghana.
Yeah, so it's the same format going forward. Each member of the committee, minus a few of them, they would represent a sister cities, and we would help them, to reach back out to them to get us out of the dormant stage to look at next steps to move forward.
And through you again, Madam Chair, one of the things I wanted was to, we do have something that's coming up early next year. That's the first sister city relationship we have with Ireland. That comes up, when is it, March or April? Councilman Billadou?
March for the parade.
March. So
Yes.
that'd be a really good time to kick off our revitalization.
And I think per the bylaws, Eric, remind me, don't we have to have our first official not meeting, what is it called, by March of next?
Yeah,
what
the
is
yearly
it?
meetings in March. We would look to
Yeah.
hopefully start something before that, just to get our feet wet before we.
Well, yeah, before that, but we need to have our first official in
Yeah.
March of 2026. Yeah, we got to
Correct.
meet plenty of times before that.
Yeah,
Yeah, correct.
but I just thought since
Yeah, no, it's a good coordination.
yeah, what a great time to kick it off and get the press again involved, and this reestablishing of the program again. Just a
Mhm.
thought.
Yep.
And through you, Madam Chair, is there, I know, Eric, you said that we were going to work with New Haven. Is there going to be a meeting set up for conversation with them regarding reestablishment help?
Yeah, I mean, we met individually with Jessica. She's going to be, if everything goes well, she'll be one of 50, they call them state reps for sister cities, so it's a little higher level. And, she's a dedicated individual. She does some foreign exchange work, and we're communicating via email. We can set something up with this committee and others to, kind of see what, the best practices are. And like I said, they really lean on some of their institutions within New Haven. Yale has representation on there. A couple of private schools have it on there. And like I said, that is the gold standard. And I would recommend that we try to reach out to the UConns of the world, the Trinities of the world, and see, what kind of relationships and, what kind of relationships we can have moving forward to best maximize, this experience for all.
I suggested to Eric that we have a meeting, our first meeting, certainly a very early group, in late September, early October, to kind of put together some agendas going forward, what maybe working towards the March idea and working with New Haven. But I think we need to get a meeting, sooner than later. And, there's already been some commitments, people here on the screen and others who want to be a part of it. And I think that's the sooner we start, the better.
Sure, that's a great idea.
Councilman Gale? Good? Got a finger up? Okay. Anything else?
That is it.
Eric, thank you for that presentation. That was great, by the way. Forgot to say that.
Yeah, no, so we will, so I think this is just we're just received this. I don't think we're gonna I don't know if we vote on this.
Wasn't it a resolution?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was, so I guess we do.
So you do have to vote on this.
Okay, and now we have Councilman Gale, we have a quorum. So is there a motion?
Make a motion to move the item back to full council with a favorable recommendation.
A second? Councilman Gill, are you seconding it? Yep, he did. Okay, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed, abstained, it passes, and then we're all set. So we will send out the presentation. Eric will send it out to everyone, but this will come back, and if there isn't anything else, I thank everybody else, and I'm making a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Good night,
All right,
everyone.
bye.